Well, today we're going to be giving you a jewel guide, and the best thing about this is we finally have a use for the star staff. So if you haven't found out already, for us to get some of these jewel slots, it's going to require us to dismantle some of our gear. Dismantling the non-S grade will give us some divine forging steel, and dismantling the S grades will give us the divine forging cubes. And just to let you know, every single piece of gear will have to have its own slots unlocked. So let's say you have 2 bloody grails. If you go and unlock a slot on one, you still got to go over the other one and unlock it on that one too. Unlocking the first slot will take 100 of the divine forged steel. This is what looks like those gold bars. Unlocking the second slot will take 200 of the divine forged steel. The third slot will take 300, but will now also require some divine forged cube, which means you're going to have to dismantle one of your S grades. The fourth slot, I don't think any of us expected this, 400 of the steel, 2 of the cubes, and now we also need to go and sacrifice a legendary piece of gear that's going to be an exact match of the gear we're going and unlocking. And finally, the fifth slot is going to take 500 steel, 3 of the cubes, and once again, another piece of legendary gear of that same piece. Now, I haven't tested this on the non-S grades, but it looks, at least based by the level 1, that these are going to be the exact same ones. And even if you don't have the jewels to get slotted in these, you're still going to want to unlock all 5 of them, and the fact that these are going to give big percentage boosts to your HP, attack, and even your defense. I would say that the weapon is always the first one you should start with, and then your armor is probably going to be the next best. Now, any jewels that we go and slot in this, don't worry, they can be removed if you don't like the ones that are in there. I was a little bit scared myself that they were going to be locked in forever, but they can get traded out if you do want to kind of work on different builds. There is 7 different qualities on these: normal, fine, rare, epic, legendary, mythic, and immortal. So clearly the higher the rarity is probably going to give you better stats. But then there is a couple of them out there that are labeled as S1, which is going to be specific for the season that we're in. They say that after the whole season is over, they're not going to be any good anymore. Not sure if these things are just going to disappear or if they're just going to revert back to normal stats. You'll also find that some of these jewels have a little star icon on them, which just means they're pretty much rarer than the other ones you can go and get. And every single one of these jewels is going to be specific to a certain class. So we have our weapons, our armor, our rings, and then our accessories. So when you finally get 5 of these jewels of the same rarity, the same class, we can now go and merge these. And let's just say that they're 5 of the normal accessory jewels. There's not going to be any selection like, hey, I like this stat on this one, so let me merge them together and turn them into the same stat, but just a better rarity. This will be completely random of what the new jewel is going to be at the higher rarity that's going to turn into, and it could be the same as one of those 5, or it could totally be different. Right now, the big spot to get these jewels is going to be from the Dungeon Abyss, and we can get them from going and just having them drop as we go and play the difficulty. They can be inside some of the chests, which we can get from going and beating it within 60 rounds. Sometimes they're in there, or we can even get them over from the exchange shop. There is also the vials or the regents, whatever you want to call them, putting one of those things in the blessing slot, and you go and you beat that difficulty. That's going to be a guaranteed drop of one of the gems based by which one you throw in there. There's absolutely a ton of different gems in this, and if you kind of want to see what all the different ones are, I'd say go over to the exchange shop, find one of those chests, click on it, and you can see all the probabilities of getting for that rarity and the stats that are behind them. Oh, and we can actually get some of those vials or even the chests with the jewels inside them from the battle pass, the missions down below, or even going and purchasing some of those vials from the gift packs. So I think the harder part on this is going to be unlocking all of those slots for every single piece of gear, and really it's just going to come down to going and getting these things up to the immortal rarity and then just slotting those ones that are going to be best. The good news is if you're like me and running 2 different builds between a Whisper and a Reaper staff, and you don't want to have 12 different slots for this stuff, you can go up, hit that recycle button. There is the divine forge in there, and you'll get all the steel, all the cubes, any of that legendary equipment that you had to sacrifice, and even get those jewels back that you have slotted. So once again, I'm sure I'm probably missing stuff on this one too, so any questions, pop it down in the comments. But if you want to know the other part of this, of actually how to go and do your best inside that abyss, take a look at this video right here. Thanks for watching, and remember, I pick my butt.